Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of Sell Your Own Products on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle. And as you see, we're in the new studio tonight, and I'll be honest with you, something's going wrong. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I hope it's all there. I had it all mapped out and all planned out, and I don't know, something just kind of went haywire on that. But anyway, you see, we're here, right here. We're broadcasting from beautiful Hope Sound, Florida. It's right by Jupiter, Florida. It's between Jupiter and Stewart. Hope Sound, Florida. Great place to live. Good climate, good weather, and all around a great place. So we're broadcasting live for that. You can see the if you look closely, you can see the intercoastal back there and all that. But anyway, we're here tonight. This is Sell Your Own Product on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle, and the show. And tonight we're going to be talking about private label advantage. And, it's one of my favorite topics because, well, first of all, we need to get a plug in for the sponsor of the show, which is, of course, Sell Your Own Products on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle. Just to tell you a little bit about it, what it is. The course is right now it's 45, maybe 46 videos. I'm going to have to sit down and count one of these days. I've kind of lost count because we keep adding and we've taken some off and changing them and all that. And so I've kind of lost count, but I think it's somewhere around 45 videos is what it is right now. And those videos take you from very beginning, for not knowing anything about Amazon, to setting up your Amazon seller account, and then it takes you all the way through how to choose a product to sell, how to source that product, how to list that product, how to brand that product, how to promote that product on Amazon, and all the way through that to getting set up so you get those regular checks from Amazon. It's not a check. It's a direct deposit into your bank account every 2 weeks. I look forward to them. Get a smile on my face every time I get one, every 2 weeks. But that's what we teach. And not only that, but it's a hands-on course where everybody's not the same. Some of you can jump in on module 2, maybe 3, and go on. And where some of you have to start module 1, and it doesn't make any difference. And we'll work with you. Sometimes some people like to have their hand hold and take us from point A to point Z. And we'll gladly do that. One thing is, the first day you join, one of the first things you're going to get is you're going to get my email address, private email address, and my private cell phone number, because I'm here to help you. And there's going to be I can put together the best course in the world, which I think I've done. But the problem is, each one of you is going to be a little bit different. Each one of you is going to run into some special circumstances, which I can't do probably a video on, or if it is, that's how I get the content for some of the new videos, is some of the things that come up. And I said, okay, maybe we should do one on that. And we'll do that. And my chair keeps rolling back here. I'm sorry, but that's it. So that's in the nutshell about the course. I'm not going to go on and on to that. It's privatelabelselling.com. Go over there and you find out all about it and everything like that. So what we're going to do tonight is, and I just want to go one thing here that didn't take, and I don't understand. I want to try it one more time. So I'm going to go right through here. There it is, and it is. All right. That was supposed to come out first tonight, and why it didn't, I don't know, folks. But I'm going to take you over here to, let me see. I'm going to take you, let's go right over to the PowerPoint here tonight. And this is where we're at. And this is it's Advantage Private Label. That's what we're talking about tonight. And I was going to do it from the ship, but like I say, I don't quite know what happened. I goofed things up, I think, at the last minute. I presume I see you're watching this, and it should be fine. So what can I tell you? Just going to go on. I'm going to do the thing. We're going to do the Amazon, the PowerPoint. It's Amazon private label. And we're going to talk about the advantages of that private label, why that is so important, hold on a minute. I've got to get it where it won't there. It won't there. It's got to come from here. Okay, there it is. I'm sorry, it clicked off. So types of selling. Now, to understand why the advantage is private label, you got to understand the types of selling that Amazon. There's a bunch of them, and we're going to start out. The first group we're going to mention is restorative selling. Restorative selling is where you go out and you can buy antiques, and usually antiques you don't have to do, well, sometimes you do. Sometimes the frame are pretty bad and everything like that, and you can do some constructive work on the frames if you're doing an antique picture or something like that, or might have a chip in it or something like that. But watch out when you're fixing chips, because sometimes if you you might lessen the quality, might lessen the price by doing a little fix. So it's one of those things you got to learn. But there's the antiques and there's thrifting. There's the 2 or 3 programs on the internet right now, Thrifting for Profit. And a lot of people that I know, they do that and they have fun at it. And God bless them. To me, I think it's a lot of work, but more power to them. They're thrifting. In other words, they go up to thrift stores. They usually take a scanner, and they go there and scan book titles. They scan games they find. By the way, antique games, or what they call collectible games, are really a popular category on Amazon. You can make a lot of money on it. You can make a lot of money on all that. Lamps, tables, and all that stuff. You fix it up, you sell it. And used books, there's a heck of a market on used books, especially when you get into the textbooks and school books, and some of those bring big money, believe me. And that's one type of selling on Amazon. Now, there's going to be another type of selling on Amazon is retail arbitrage. Now, what retail arbitrage is once again, you're going to go out and you're going to take your little handheld scanner. It's like a kind of like a watch fob, about the same thing. It's about the same size. I got a Prius. It's about the same size as my key to my Prius, if you're familiar with that. They just slip in a slot. But anyway, that's what a scanner is like. And you wear it around here, and it's got a little thing, and you go in and scan it, and you're going to scan for bargains. You're going to scan. You go to Walmart, take it, or Target, or any of those places like that. You check the different places in there, like they're discontinued, or their section where they're getting a discounted section or something like that. One place you check. Sometimes you check the specials. Sometimes they're having specials so cheap that you can make a lot of money by buying them. So if they got a special on there, and with that scanner will tell you what the price is on Amazon and how many sellers there are. And if it looks promising, that's a whole nother show to tell you how to do that and all that. And I'm not going to go into that, but that's basically what you do. You scan that product. And if it is, man, if there's no quantity on there, sometimes like, we'll get into that later on, but I used to do a lot of this retail arbitrage. And because before I started to teach this course, I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. And I talked to, so I learned the other things. I learned retail arbitrage. I'll be honest with you, I didn't do too much in thrifting, but I did do retail arbitrage. Man, I'll tell you what, I was a cookie king. I went into the grocery stores and I knew the cookie aisle, and I could tell you what each one sold for, what Amazon was getting, and everything else just by looking at it. But that takes a lot of work, and I did that. And so I'm qualified to talk about that and tell you about that, because it makes a big difference. But you scan that, and you know what the price is and all that. And if it's a good deal, it's a 2-for-1 or a BOGO, buy one, get one free. Well, for God's sakes, you take your card up there and load it up. I know exactly which stores in the Stewart Hope Sound area will let you load it up, and which one will limit you on quantities and all that. I can tell you all that, and that's good, because that's how I got my knowledge. That's what I did it. I've done all this, and what can I say? That's the scanning for bargains. The next one is probably more my favorite from scanning, because I'll tell you what, when I first started out, I used the scanner, and I got to the point, I got really good at it. And when the scanner, when you press on it, it brings it up. It tells you what it's selling for Amazon, and then it gives you a whole bunch of different quantities, how many sellers there are, and what they're selling it for. But the problem with that is when you get out there, it's kind of one-shot deal because you can't check it out is what I'm trying to say. So you scan that, and sometimes those scanners, and I don't care whether you use Scan Power, Profit Banner, or any of the others, talk to anyone, it's the same problem because sometimes on some of these items there's going to be 5 or 6 different listings, and they're all listing different things, and the scanner won't show you all that, and so you buy it thinking, man, you've got a great deal, and you get back and you found out it wasn't such a great deal because somebody's there with a lot lower price. So my favorite way is the second item on there is the second item, flyer sourcing, and that's really simple. Once a week. Matter of fact, I've still got them on here because I'm so used to going through them. I like to look through them. Any grocery store in my area. And by the way, I also went up to Illinois last winter, and so I still got some of those, Jewel and some of those on there, and I automatically get their flyer on my computer once a week. And that's really neat because I can sit back here in my desk like here, and I can page through it, see the things I'm interested in, and go right over and do a half a page and a half a page on Amazon, go over and look it up, go back and forth and check my prices and make sure I am, and I mark that sucker off. And get a whole list of what I'm going to do, and then I go out because I'm going to tell you right now, within 2.5 hours, depends on how many items on that list, there is like 8 Publix in this area. 8 Publix and 3 Winn-Dixies. But I usually do the Publix one day, the Winn-Dixies another day. But I would take it and go through it, and I'm telling you, I knew exactly what I was going for, where it was in the grocery store. I went in and I could do those 8 Publix in 2.5 hours, and I come back with my Prius now. You'd be surprised what a Prius can hold. I'm telling you, when you talk about cookies, you're stacked up to the ceiling and all that, and you've got about $300-400 worth of cookies back there. I'll tell you what. That's a good day. I come back and, well, we're getting into that, and that's beside the point, but that's what I used to do. But I like the flyer sourcing for simple reason that you can, like I say, you can divide your screen in half here, get the flyer on one side and get Amazon on the other, and click back and forth and see what they're selling for and know that you've got a good deal. So that way, when you send it in, you know you're all right and you're not going to lose money for it. So I hope that makes sense. And, so we'll go from there. So that's the flyer sourcing. Then there's bartering, which is a whole nother story. You can take. I can tell you that in bartering, I met a dentist that needed his house done, and I had 2 kids that needed braces, and that's how you barter. You find out somebody that needs something you've got, and you got that, and you still have that ad and say, you'll exchange my. That little doll, I forget that ad, whatever it is, but they do that. And so just want to say their bartering is fine. Just especially with Amazon, you have a hard time doing it, but I just had an offer from, and I'm not going to go into all details or we'll never get out of here tonight, but I had an offer from somebody over in Hawaii that really likes one of my products. She buys my product and she engraves it, and then she sells it with their name and all that on there because she picks mine. Why? Because mine's one of the thickest ones, and it's a cutting board, and I'm unfortunately in the process of discontinuing it, but that's another whole story, and we'll get into that some other time. But and so she sent me the thing, and she wanted to do a deal with it. And what had happened was I had originally had the price up there where it'd been selling all the time, but I decided I would like to clear them all out before by the end of the year. So I put the price down, and they flew off the shelf. And she saw this, and she saw what a great deal. And she said, Terry, well, she didn't say Terry. She said, talk to me in companies in Woodford Cottage. And she says, how many do you have? And I wrote back to say, how many do you have? And she said, well, I'd like to buy 100 of them. Can you make me a special deal? Well, unfortunately, I'd already lowered them, so I couldn't make a deal. But I'm going to tell you, these deals they come in all the time when you get a chance to buy some. And so you can also do wholesale through Amazon. You don't do Amazon. The deal wouldn't go through Amazon. You understand what I'm saying? But she contacted me and everything like that. So that's a barter. So let's go on and keep going. So type of selling, wholesale buying. Now I'm going to tell you right now, wholesale buying is a whole different story. And I did it and I did good, but I'm going to tell you something. There's a guy out there by the name of Todd Lammy who teaches a course on wholesale buying. And if you want to learn wholesale, you get a hold of Todd. I don't know what his course is. Don't make anything off of it. But I'm going to tell you right now that the man knows what he's talking about and he won't steer you wrong. Todd Lammy is the guy to see when it comes to wholesale, and we'll help you along and everything like that. But if you really want to do wholesale, you want to do it well, you want to learn from one of the experts. And as far as I'm concerned, the expert when it comes to wholesale is Todd Lammy. So that's without saying that. So types of selling, wholesale buying. Now there's closeout lots. John Bullard is one source. There's 2 or 3 wholesale buying clubs where a group of people get together. They hire somebody to do the buying for it, and the person buys in bulk lots, pallets and pallets and pallets. And then when they get them in, they'll break those pallets down into how many lots. Maybe say if they buy 1,000 cases of something or another, and they might break it into 10 lots of 100, which there's nothing wrong with that, which means you got to buy the 100, you get it at a heck of a good price, you list it on Amazon, and you sell it out. That's what it's all about. And there's quite a few wholesale buying companies like that. I'm not going to mention any here because I don't honestly know it. Like I say, I do know Todd Lammy, and as a teacher, and as far as I'm concerned, he's the best. So what can I say? You can buy from a manufacturer, and that's almost the same as doing private label. Private label, you buy from a manufacturer, put your own label. But in wholesale, you buy from a manufacturer. You're going to buy in bigger lots naturally, so you get a lot better price. But the only problem is it's got the manufacturer's label on there, which I don't think you want. But if you're doing wholesale, that's fine, because you can jump on it and say there's what you want to look for. I'll be honest with you now. You want to look for a product that's really selling well on Amazon. When I'm saying selling well, I'm talking 50 to 150 to plus units a day. And there's a lot of products out there. And look for one where there's no competition. And find out where he's buying the product, buy the product, and jump on that listing, which is legal on Amazon, and you can do it. Private label, I'm going to tell you how to avoid that, but on wholesale, you can't. If somebody's got your product, why they can list on yours and right there. So instead of selling 50 a day, that guy's going to be selling 25 a day, and you're going to be selling 25 a day, provided you don't get in a war with him and you keep the price the same. And most guys, if they know what they're doing, will do that. They'll share the buy box with you rather than get into a ride to the bottom, which trying to undercut each other, which is disaster. So, and that's one of the bad things about wholesale, but that's another story and another program like that. So that's buying from the manufacturer and buying from a jobber. Now let me tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with buying from a jobber. I get this question all the time. Terry, what do you think? What's the difference between Alibaba and Alibaba Express? Alibaba, you're going to be buying from a wholesaler sometimes. And I won't say most of the times, I'm saying sometimes. You got to watch it. But AliExpress, you're going to be buying from a jobber almost all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you, a lot of manufacturers don't want anything to do with you, me, or anybody else. They just want to make their product, and they want somebody to sell it for them and to get it out of there. And that's all they care about. And that's what a jobber does. A jobber goes in and says, hey, I'll sell your product. I'll take care of it. What kind of a discount? I mean, what kind of a price are you going to give me, or what kind of a percentage do I get for selling it for you? And they'll work out a deal, and the jobber goes and does all the selling, and the manufacturer just sits there. The jobber's happy and the manufacturer's happy. But be aware of that. In AliExpress, most of those sellers on AliExpress are jobbers. There's nothing wrong with that, but you're going to have to go through a middleman if you're going to do private label and you want to talk about labeling and all that kind of stuff. You're just going through jobbers, got to go to the manufacturer, and you're best. So private label, you're better to talk to the manufacturer, not the jobber. But wholesale doesn't make any difference. You go in there because you're selling under their label, and that's fine. So so the last type of selling is private label. Now, you just heard me talk about wholesale and all that. Private label is the same thing. You're going to go out, you're going to find a manufacturer first of all, we're going to teach you how to go and find a product to sell. You don't want to go and just pick any product. The worst thing you can do, and I'm going to say this right up front, is to go to Alibaba or AliExpress and find a product that to sell on Amazon. That's going to almost guarantee that you're going to lose money. Did you hear me? That's almost going to guarantee that you lose money. Man, I'll tell you, in the last 3 weeks, I've gotten, I don't know how many there are people that did that. They went to Alibaba, they signed a good deal, got a good deal, and all that, and didn't check it out. I told you about 16,000 reviews. This one guy went up against a product with 16,000 reviews, and you know what? He was 4 times cheaper and couldn't sell any. Why? Because nobody trusted him. He didn't have the reviews, and that's what we teach you in the course. We try to keep you out of those kind of problems. So what can I say? It's private label. It's buying from a manufacturer and branding. You're going to buy that product from the manufacturer, and you're going to brand it with your own brand. You know, you can make that. We teach you to make the product better. We go into a lot more detail than that. But basically what you're doing, you're going to find a product, and we tell you how to find that product. And then you're going to go and make the product better, and you're going to put your own brand, your own pictures, your own everything up. So it looks like, and it is actually your product, a brand new product, and you're going to list that, and you're going to come out smelling like a rose if you do it the way we tell you. If you try to do it yourself, you're going to get burnt. And I'm not telling you I'm that great of an expert. I've just been there, done there, and we know what we're talking about. And that's why we tell you, do it our way. Otherwise, you're going to. And what can I tell you? You buy from a jobber in branding, or you manufacture yourself. Story. A few years ago when I first got started, everything I came out with, I'll tell you about that product I discontinued, or we was talking about earlier, was a 3-piece cutting board set. It was one of the nicest 3-piece cutting board sets on Amazon. Matter of fact, I think it was the nicest. The thing was, it was almost twice as thick as all the other cutting boards. And what's one of the problems with cutting boards is you get a lot of returns because they don't get sized. Over in China, they just make them, they put them together, they package them the way they want and everything like that. And what if you get them in some place where there's a dry climate or something like that, and they start to dry out, they split. And that's one of the bad things about bamboo cutting board. Nothing wrong with it. That's just the nature of the product. And so you want to make sure. The one thing you can do is they sell cutting board oil. And so after I got my 3-piece cutting board sets on Amazon, they were selling good and everything like that. I'm thinking, the one thing that I'm missing is a sizing oil or a cutting board oil. So I go to find somebody, and I really didn't want to be shipping liquids. I don't know why. That was when I first got started, and today I wouldn't have any problem with that, but I just figured I didn't want to go to China or Vietnam or any of those places over there to give something like that made for me. So I started looking around here, and I looked, and you've heard me tell this story if you've been following me very long about, I found my manufacturer, I found the person that's going to bottle it for me on the 12th page of Google. Why? Because most of these people that are manufacturers, the people that are bottlers, people that are make these products for you, don't know anything about websites. And what they're going to do, they're going to go and hire some kid out in high school, or they're going to hire some single mom that's sitting at home and says she can build a website, and she probably can. And she builds a website for them, and then all of a sudden they sit there and they don't sell any. Why? Let me tell you, it's just like the products on Amazon we're talking about. If you don't have the thing, if you could have the best website in the world, believe me, you can have the best website in the world, but if people aren't looking for it, it ain't going to do you any good. None. So, make sure you have a website, make sure the person knows some SEO, so at least you get some juice out of it. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and be pretty, and you can brag to your friends, tell them to go look for it, but it ain't going to do you any good. So that's the thing. I'm getting off again. So that's manufacturing myself. So the theory was, it wasn't a theory. It was, I decided that my second product was going to be a bamboo cutting board oil. And so most bamboo cutting board oils are made out of mineral oil, food grade mineral oils, basically what they are. Sometimes they add a little perfume, sometimes they don't. I didn't do anything. I just put it, and I put it right on the label, what it was. And so I found this manufacturer, like I say, 12 page of Google, went, found it, talked to them, and found out, come to think, they had just finished a job and they had a whole bunch of bottles left over from another job they just wanted to get rid of. And so they made me a heck of a good deal. And it was a good looking bottle. Most cutting board oil comes in short, squatty bottles. Mine's like a long neck beer bottle, or what you want to call it, but it looks really good. We designed a label for it. I had Pakistan, the man I use over in Pakistan, designed my label for me, and we put that on there and made that. And so what I did is I went out and I bought a 55-gallon drum of food grade mineral oil. Now, believe me, a 55-gallon drum of food grade mineral oil will make about 1,600 of these bottles, which was fine. So that's what I did. They bottled them for me. They packaged them up, and we sent them to Amazon, except for I had another idea that I wanted to try and do a bundle product. So I had 400 of them sent to me. The rest are sent to Amazon. And that's the story. And that's how I got it. But remember, 12 thing to Google. There's a lot of companies in the United States that do it, just like they will from Alibaba and overseas. And sometimes you can get better prices here because you don't have to worry about the freight and the shipping and everything else. So don't knock it. I know it's easier to go to Alibaba and just find somebody, but sometimes, like I say, you're going to get better prices and get a better product by doing it here in the States. You know, there's a lot of mom and pop bottlers, manufacturers out there that don't know how to advertise, or what we call get customers, and so they're just sitting there waiting with their presses or their machinery waiting to manufacture something you need. So just spend a little extra time. What can I tell you? So that's how you manufacture yourself. You set outside the box, and if you don't know how to think outside the box, hang it up, man. Get yourself a couple of teenagers or a couple young college students or something like that, and just give them the thing of thinking for take your product and how can it be used, how can it be made better, how can you promote it, and give it to them and let them work on it for yourself. So that's as far as types of selling. So we're talking about private label, and what the show is tonight is, why is the private label advantage? Well, so we go to what is private label? It's selling a product under your own brand and your label. You can see there, Terry's Magic Elixir. It's your UPC, your brand, your label. What can I tell you? That's what private label is. And I'll go right here. We're going into what's the advantages of private label. We've talked a lot about it, and wow, it's I've used up a half an hour already, and so we talked about that. And so here's what the advantage of private label is. When you're doing private label, you control the content, the label, the brand, the promotions, the listing, and I can't read my, Terry, and the inventory. All right. Are those important? You better believe they're important. And especially, I've talked about this before, even that last one I put down there, the inventory, because it's getting to the point. Because Alibaba, when you go on there, they want to sell you as many as they can, and they'll give you the more you buy, the better you're going to get a price. And you want that good price. But sometimes it's going to bite you. You know, tell you why. Because, and one of the reasons I didn't do those cutting boards, this is hour of truth here, I guess, or something like that, it is because Amazon in the last year has started to really get rough, really control their long-term storage fee. And to get that good price that I needed for those 3-piece cutting boards, I had to buy a ton of them. And I had them shipped here, and I shipped them to Amazon. Well, the problem is I didn't get them all sold in a year. So what happened was I got this thing for Amazon said, you know, in February they charged, or January, whatever it is, they charged their long-term storage fee, and they sent me and they said, oh man, you're up to, you had better than $2,500 long-term storage fee if I let them go. So I said no. So I had them sent back to me. What was left? I think there wasn't that many. There was only 400 or 500 left, but they were sent back to me. And then as soon as they came in, I just checked to make sure they were all right, sent them right back to Amazon, and that was fine. Well, now Amazon has decided now, since then, I guess a lot of people were doing like me, sending it right back in, that now I did have a few items that this in the short-term storage fee, which comes up in somewhere around July. I'm not sure, and I don't have my notes there in front of me, so don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere right around there. And I had a few, and so I had them sent back, not the cutting boards, but some other stuff that I bought because I did a lot of retail arbitrage in between, and I had some stuff that I know what I'll tell you right here, right now. There's a lot of what they call so-called coaches and that will tell you to buy when you're going out retail arbitrage and scanning. They say if you can make a profit for it, buy it, send it in, and it'll sell. Well, it will, but sometimes it's going to sit there for over a year, and you're going to end up paying a long-term storage fee on it, and it's going to cost you money. And so that's the reason I sent these back. And like I said, it used to be you could send them right back in. Well, now it doesn't. Now I've got some stuff sitting in my warehouse, and I've got a little tiny 5x5 warehouse, which I keep some stuff in, and I've got these in there because Amazon said, now what they sent back to me, I asked to have it sent back. They sent back to me, said I couldn't send it in to December 1st. Well, that's next month, but it's been sitting there for 4 or 5 months. And so in theory, I guess not in theory, I haven't been paying storage fee because I had the storage fee anyway, but storage locker anyway, but it's sitting in there. I can't do anything with it until December 1st. Believe me, December 1st, I'm going to be out there and sending that stuff right back because it's already labeled and processed and everything else. I checked it when it came in, make sure it's okay. If there was some that was damaged and that, I just threw it out. So, well, I threw out a bunch. I bought some bamboo, they're bamboo hot pads. And man, I thought they were really going to sell. They didn't. You know, what can I tell you? Sometimes you just got to lose, I guess, but I just want to tell you. So Advantage private label, we're getting way off the subject. What you control the content, like I say, and you can make it better. Or like I can control the content on that cutting board oil. I can tell, I think I put, if I remember right, I believe there's 8 ounces in each one. I could put 7.5 ounces. I could have put 8.5 ounces or whatever. I could fill that bottle up all the way, and then it probably would have leaked and all that. That's one of the problems I did have because I didn't really have the right type of seal on there, but Amazon accepted, and because of that, I got some returns on the stuff because Amazon, let me tell you right now, maybe I should say this, maybe I shouldn't, but when you've got a product, especially if it's a liquid, I want you to be aware that sometimes the people in Amazon warehouses are not the sharpest tacks on the block. Remember I told you I sold cookies? They put a package of cookies in a post office shipping envelope. They went through the stamp thing. Needless to say, the customer got crumbs, but just be aware. Okay, so that's why I harp on boxes and keeping it in there and keeping it in good shape, because I want your customers to get the best, and so does Amazon. They want to get the best possible product, not at the best price, but in the best shape, and they want to be treated good. So what can I tell you? Just bear in mind, you control that. You can control that. So what did I do then? I put them in boxes. Why wouldn't I? It cost me, I think, maybe a whole 5 cents a bundle more to put it in a box. Well, no, maybe that wasn't more than that. It was almost 15 cents more. But it was well worth it to put it in a box than to have them broken and everything like that. So you control the content, the label, the brands, the promotions. And this is why I like the promotions. When you do wholesale, you've got no way to do promotions. I mean, you can promote your listing on your product, but that's not really doing what I call a promotion. A promotion is doing like I'm doing tonight. I'm promoting my brand. I'm promoting sell your own product on Amazon for income and lifestyle. That's a promotion, and I'm doing that tonight. That's my promotion, and that's how I'm branding. I'm branding myself. What can I tell you? That's all that. So this is what you control. Advantage private label. Advantage private label. You build a business. And I need to. We talk about this week after week, but you build a business. You build a brand. It's Terry's brand. Terry's Magic Elixir. See the cap right there? It says, that's my brand. You build a following. I'm building a following with you people that are out there looking tonight. Some of you might come back. Some of you might not. That's okay. This is not for everybody. But I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is gold. And if you listen, and it'd be better than that. Join the course, and you're going to be great. But what can I tell you? I tell you what to do right here. I'm not in the course to tell you how to do it. It's just that simple. So you build a brand, you build a following. And just by being consistent and by doing it. And we teach you all that in the course. It's all in there. How to do it. We teach you how to do talking head videos. This is a talking head video. And I can see that I'm having trouble with this keeping my head right in the camera that I go veer to this way and that way. And that's because I get excited and I do all this kind of stuff, which is probably I shouldn't do, but that's me. What can I tell you guys? I'm not a young guy. I get excited. My wife actually leaves when my mother-in-law locks herself in the room back there. And my wife actually leaves when I do one of these promotions or one of these shows, because I get excited. I really get excited with this stuff. And sometimes you can probably tell I start yelling and everything because I'm excited. And that's okay. That's me. What can I tell you? That's the reason my head keeps bopping around. Instead of trying to keep it, I should keep it right on. So I'm looking right at you. And that's what I'm trying to do. But like I say, I get excited and all that. Anyway, it doesn't make any difference. So you build a business. And when you build that business, you build a brand and you build a following. And that's what it's all about. You want people to like your brand. When they see your brand, they're going to recognize and say, oh, man, Terry, his products are really good. I'm going to try that, So what can I tell you? So here's what really comes down to the nitty and the gritty, and all the stuff in between is the advantage private label. You build a business that you control. And that is so important, folks. That is so important that you control your business. You build a business that you can run anywhere you have internet access. The way we teach this, the way we teach the course, the way we teach you to send your products in, and you do not ever touch your product. The only time you see the product is when the manufacturer sends you a sample. You don't have the product sent to you. You don't have the product. You don't want to sit there and bag it and think. And I'm going to tell you another thing. I got 3 emails this week about people wanting to know about putting a FISCU label on their product. Let me tell you, folks, if you're selling private label and you send your product in commingled, you do not need to put a FISCU label on it. All you need is your UPC, which you have to have for a private label product anyway. Is you have your UPC, send it in commingled inventory. What are you worried about? Nobody else has your product, so it's not going to get mingled with anybody. But send it in, and you don't need a FISCU on it label. And that's just ridiculous, putting another label on there. And you know what it does? It gives somebody else a chance to come in under your listing if you've got a FISCU label on it. So that's just another thing. So where we're going. So you can control that. You can run. You build a business that you can control, that you can run anywhere you have internet access. Anywhere. I don't care. I can take my little iPad, and I just did 2 weeks ago. We flew up to Illinois for a couple of days. I ran the business fine from the iPad. I didn't do the only thing I didn't do that week that I normally do was do this broadcast. And the reason why is because I knew the place I was going up in Illinois does not have a real good internet signal. And I had to use the internet from there because my iPad is an older one. Guess I need to get a new one, but that's the only reason is it doesn't have universal where I can pick up the internet anywhere. I have to be someplace where they have the internet and get it. So I worked out. So I didn't do this. The only thing I didn't do is my Thursday night show, and I apologize for that. One of these nights, for days, I will probably have to buy a new iPad. But what can I say? But you can run that business anywhere you have an internet section, that you can hire someone to run. A business you can hire somebody to run. You can hire somebody to run your business. Once you get it set up, all the work in private label is done at the beginning. Once you get it set up, you could hire, man, I'll tell you, you could probably hire a high school person to run your business, because it's nothing more. Is once you get it set up and everything, other than doing the promotions, I wouldn't do it in that. But as far as shipping, labeling, all you have to do is set it up in Amazon to notify you when it's time to order. You get that notice from Amazon. You put a purchase order to your supplier to get it and get it sent to Amazon. Amazon supplier tells you how many cases and that. You send that, put that into Amazon right there. It sends you the labels and all that. You give those labels to your supplier, and you're good to go. Pallet labels and all that, and you're in there, and that's all you got to do. And that's only, we're talking about the whole thing there is less than an hour's work, probably less than a half an hour's work after you've done it 2 or 3 times. So what can I say? So you can hire somebody to run your business. You can pass on to your children, because you're building a business that is sellable. I just read today in Forbes say that the one thing that people, when they're looking to buy a business, look for is a business that is not dependent upon the owner. And that's what I've been teaching here for, what, a year and a half now? Why? Because I lost it. I built a business that was dependent on the owner in one of the biggest and best workrooms in the state of Florida, and I couldn't sell it. You know why? Because it all depended on me. Let me tell you, nobody, and I'm going to say it one more time, nobody wants to buy a job. They want to buy a business. And that's what Forbes was saying. They said the less you as the CEO, the less the business is dependent upon you, the more the business is worth, is what I'm saying. In other words, let me give you an example. I used to buy and sell web, and I didn't buy them. I built websites, built up to the point when they were making a substantial income, and then I would sell them. Why? Because I knew exactly what Forbes were talking about. There's all kind of business in this economy right now, especially somebody that's got money and wants to grow that money or something like that. Where are they going to put it? The stock market's doing lousy. The interest, my gosh, 2% interest? Come on, give me a break. You know, you might be able to get 3-4%. That's not money. You know, and so I built these websites that were making a substantial income every month. I would advertise them, and the longest I ever had one stay in the market was 4 days, 4 or 5 days. I don't remember anymore, but it doesn't make any difference. The point of it is, there's so many people out there with money, with cash, that they want to put someplace where they can make an income off of it. And when you've got a business that runs itself, basically, like I told you, like that, or you can hire somebody to do the thing, like a high school kid or something. We're not talking, but is making good money. You have got a business you can sell for quite a little bit of money, because people are willing to pay for it, and that's what they're looking for. They don't want to buy a business where they got to work their butt off and be there all the time and stay there till 8, 9 o'clock at night. They want a business that they can run, and if they got to be there 1 day a week, maybe, even that's probably too much. They should, you know, but they want something that they can buy and make money on and grow their money. That's what they're looking for, folks. That's what they're looking for. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that. That's you can hire somebody to run, you can pass on to your children, and that you can sell. So what am I going to tell you? That's the private label lifestyle. And that's what we've been talking about. That's the name of this course. You know, we sell your own product on Amazon for income and lifestyle. And what we're talking about is the private label lifestyle. That's the way it should be. And what can I tell you? That's where it's at. That's where it's at. So that's the end of my PowerPoint. Now I'm going to go over here and see if I can excuse me, this is my first time using this. So if I goof this up, just hang in there, bear with me. We're going to go over here to scene 1. Well, that's me just by myself. Scene 3, that's just where I was at. So let's try, here we are. But no, I'm not in that. Yes, I am. No. Oh, shoot, guys. I'm sorry. I really goofed this thing up. I made some changes before I was starting to do it. That's right there at the Intercoastal. Like I say, we're only a few blocks from the Intercoastal. So let's go back to scene 3, I think. That's where I was at. Or maybe go to scene 1. Yes, we can go to scene 1. That's where you can see me in all my glory and all that kind of stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click over this, get rid of it here. Save, yes, okay. Now we're going to go in this screen right here. I've got something for you. We're going to try this tonight. It's the first time, and if I can get the right screen up here, just bear with me now. I just lost myself, but like I say, I'm losing. So all right, so we're right here. Gonna open this up a little bit. I'm right here. Look at that handsome guy with those palm trees back there, sitting there in that white sand. I got my toes in the sand. What can I tell you? Having a good time. Having a good time. What we're going to do, let me get over here, and I want to get something. Okay. I'm not gone. I'll be right back. I'm just trying to find this here. Oh man, I'm gonna really goof things up here is what I'm probably gonna do, and I don't mean to do that. Oh, here's say something. Okay. Now let me see if it's still here. No, it's not. Oh shoot, gosh darn it. Let me go back to right here where we're at. Okay. I'm going to try something different. This I'm going to copy. I'm going to put a link in down here. Now I'm going to put the link in. It's underneath the. There it is. Hold on a minute. Oh shoot! I'm sorry, guys. Like I say, this is my first time using this. It's a new program. It's a course I'm taking, and apparently I don't have it down as pat as I thought it would. Because what it is, there's a we can still open this up. Question and answer box over here, and there's already a question here from Ayula. I guess it is. I don't mean to butcher your name there. Ayula. How can I increase sales? How can I increase sales at Amazon? Man, there's a lot of different ways you can increase sales at Amazon. First of all, get more reviews. I don't know how many, if you've got a competitor, one of the best ways, and Amazon is going to show your product more often if you get more reviews than your competition. That's one of the main things we teach in there, and that's why we teach you not to sell a product that that you can't overcome in reviews. So work on that. That's one of the main things. There's a lot of different ways you can get reviews. The more reviews you get, the more Amazon's going to show your product. As I say before, Amazon wants nothing more than for their customers to receive the best product at the best price, and their service to be excellent. And that's what Amazon, so that's the main thing, is increase reviews. The more you can increase the reviews, the better off you're going to be. You can do Amazon promotions. You can do Amazon promotions. What I would do, go to, if you can afford it, and I hope you can, is go to a forum or a thing that you're a member of and say, hey folks, I have got this product on Amazon and I really need some reviews on it. So what I'd be willing to do is I'll give you that product at and you have to do it for a good thing, like 70% off. If you will just give me a review. Don't ask for a good review because that's against Amazon's toast. But you can ask for a review, give them that product, and you can set that all up in Amazon. Amazon loves it. Give them a code. You could all don't worry about it being out there. You can set the number of products you want to sell at that. So don't worry about that. Set if you only want to sell 100, you want 100 reviews, set it for 100 and give those away for the 70% off in return for a review. You'll get those reviews. 90% of those people will honor their word and they will give you a review. Some won't, but you're going to find that all over. So what can I tell you? Just don't sweat it. Just go to that. So I hope that, let me see. And so I can, all right. So let me see. How else can you do sales? There's a lot of what I call coupon sites. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you because there's probably 100 of those sites and they each one have a little bit different way of which you can advertise your product on there. And here again, you're probably going to have to give them a coupon, give them some money out, but this is how you're going to get. You need to get your product rolling. You can't just set your product up there on Amazon and expect it to move. It is not going to do it, folks. I don't care. You've got to spend some time to promote it. Another way to promote it is doing if you're going to be in this for the long run, if you're going to be in this for the long run, and you really want to build a brand, you really want to learn to do what I'm doing right here. Build that brand. Eula's, whatever you sell, blue widgets, hour or half hour or 15 minutes. Man, you can go on Blab. You can do it. Any of these, Google Hangout, this costs absolutely nothing. Google furnishes it for me. I put keywords in and you'd be surprised. How many people watch this? There is probably not. Well, I do have a few watchers tonight, and I really appreciate that. That's good. Sometimes I do this, and I've only got 4 or 5. Sometimes tonight we got more than that. But the thing I'm trying to get you to understand that I'm building a brand, and I guarantee you that this here, there will only be less than 10 watching right now. But by Monday morning, there's going to be over 200 or so that have already watched it. They'll watch it through the weekend because we're talking about. Well, half of my students are not in the United States. I got them in Jordan. I got them in Australia. These are all members of my course. And it's neat because we can talk back and forth in Google Hangout and go back and forth and, come up with different ideas. Because the reason why is because what we teach in this course is to buy your product, have it shipped to Amazon. If you're buying that product from Australia, you're buying that product from London, you're buying that product from Jordan, Israel, I don't care where, it's the same process. You buy the product and ship it from the manufacturer right to Amazon, and man, you've got a home run. And that's what we teach you. But get back to the thing, how can you increase sales? You build a brand. And that's what we talked about. That's what I'm doing right here. See that? Terry Shire, Amazon Private Label Coach. Private Label Master. That's my brand. I'm building it. And it's something I can do. I love to do it. I love to give out this information. And I have a good time. As you can see, I get excited and I yell and things. And my wife, she's probably be coming home. Well, she won't be home for a while because she knows that when I get excited, I raise my voice. What can I tell you? She's lived with me all these years. And I do. And I just enjoy it. But I'm building a brand when I'm talking to you. and I hope you'll have enough confidence in you when you got another question, you'll come back and ask it, because that's my brand, and sometime when you're ready, or maybe you'll join the course, or something like that. And we work together. That's what it's all about. And just like I'm doing here, build your brand. Say your blue widget hour, and answer questions about blue, and get people excited about blue widget. Like I try to get people excited about private label, because it is, compared to all that other stuff I just went through and everything like that, private label is hand down a winner. There's no word. Some of those other stuff, my gosh, you go out and source. I'd get up in the morning and I'd have a cup of coffee, some breakfast. I'd go out and source to 12, 1 o'clock and come back. And then I'd grab a sandwich or something like that, sit there and I'd have to go create labels for the products that I bought that morning, create labels. And especially if you're in the groceries like I was, you've got to create 2 labels, because you only create your FISCU label. Then you also have a code date label, which you got to put on there. And it was sometimes a downright disaster doing that, but you do it. And then you want to try and have all that stuff done by 4 or 5, so you can make have the UPS guy pick your stuff up. Or if you don't, you're going to have to load your stuff into my little Prius, and you'd be surprised what you can get in the Prius. But load it up, run it to the UPS store, and go back. And then, you know what? Go home that night, eat supper, watch a little television, or do it on it, and you do it another day. Go to do it the next day. Folks, that's a job. That is work. So anyway, Eula, I'm sorry, I get off the thing you say. I get excited because I'm talking about that. But I hope that answers your question. That's how you can increase sales. And there's other ways, and of course we go through other ways. Talking head videos. There's places where you can learn how to do this and all that. So what can I say? I hope that answers your question. All right, do have time for a few more questions tonight. I'd be glad to answer them. What can I say? I'm hope you like my new studio. Before you could see my kitchen and everything that was back there, and now you can't. I'm right here by the beach, and I do have another scene that puts me on my boat, but darn it, I goofed it up. I don't know. I've got to work on this. Like I say, I'm working on it, and what can I tell you? It's been fun. I just really enjoy it. We've got what are we at? 8:58. We've got a couple more minutes here. If somebody's got some more questions, the question box is at 9-box over there on the right-hand side of your screen. Click on that. I think it's the first one on the right, top one on the right. We'll bring you to the question box, ask a question, and bring. And what I was going to do tonight was allow you. I can bring a bunch of people into the back end of this, so we could sit there and all have a conversation. And that's what I'm trying. That's what I was trying to do. And I practiced it, and I got it. And somehow I didn't get the link in there. I was trying to put a link in the box right there, and I didn't. So what can I say? I don't know what to tell you. So now I clicked on there again. Now I don't. Here I am. Okay. Like I say, I'm not quite got this thing mastered. This is a program called XSplit. It's what most of your TV stations and all that kind of thing, when they've got 3 or 4 slides, these are all layers, one upon the layer. Of course, the first one back there is the scenery. That's the layer. And then I'm with the camera. This is another layer. And this right here is another layer, this lower third. And you can get up to, I don't know how many layers you can get. You can get 7 or 8 different layers with all different kinds of stuff in there. And so that's where we're headed. I enjoy it. Say, Ayula, I really appreciate the question, and I thank you. With that being said, it is 9 o'clock, and nobody's asking any more questions. If you still, I'm going to sign off for this, but I want to thank you for this inaugural broadcast of the new studio. I like it. we got through it. It's not saying that, I mean, without too many problems. You lost, and I just for one more time, I will show you this last scene that was supposed to be the opening scene, and for some reason it didn't really get. So I'm going to show you that, and then I will sign off. So I thank you all very much, and I will see you, next Thursday, because 2 weeks from now is Thanksgiving, so you won't see me then. But I will see you in a few weeks. Now that should come. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now see, it's not. Why? I don't understand. I don't understand. It should, but it's not. I'm back here. Let's try it again one more time. It showed it down here in my little broadcast, but it's not going. So with that being said, I shall see you